This in my hands is the brand new, recently announced Huawei P40 Pro, and I've been fortunate enough to be using this for a while. Now, Huawei have made some bold claims about their new smartphone, including camera and performance, but how true is that? I'm EMKWAN, and in this video review, we're going to be finding out more about the Huawei P40 Pro here on EMKWAN Reviews. Gonna start off this review by talking about the obvious, the first thing that most people will notice about the device, and that is on the design and display. So talking about the design, first of all, the rear of the P40 Pro looks and feels incredibly premium. This particular color that you see in front of you works really well playing with the light. It's kind of a matte gray stroke blue, but it shimmers with different lighting. The big standout point for me since I've had this device is really on the front, where you see that quad-curve overflow display. Huawei are calling it an overflow display because not only does the screen flow on the side, something that we've seen already with other smartphone manufacturers do, but it also looks like it overflows or flows over, slightly curved on both the top and the bottom, almost like a really thin pane of water on top of a glass. And I think that's one of the standout features on this display. The display is an OLED display. It's a 6.5-inch display, and that display really does stand out. You've got 90 Hertz refresh rate, which means that swiping through the different pages, swiping through different apps is going to look and feel incredibly smooth and easy on the eyes. So all that about the display might be quite obvious, but something that might not be so obvious is that display also hides an in-display fingerprint scanner. And that is a really fast method that I've been using to unlock my device since I've been using it. It's interesting because Huawei are using an optical in-display fingerprint scanner as opposed to something like the ultrasonic solution, which is something that Samsung uses. So the optical that Huawei use on the P40 Pro is actually faster, more accurate. Now, as far as performance, under the hood, the P40 Pro comes with an Kirin 990 5G chipset. Now, this is essentially a 5G modem, which is alongside a CPU, a GPU, NPU, and other components in a single chip. The benefits of this is that the whole P series are going to be 5G enabled from the onset, but also the fact that the integration into one single chip means that it's going to have better performance and battery capabilities all round. So as well as the Kirin 990 5G chipset, the Huawei P40 Pro does come with 8GB of RAM, and the P40 Pro runs on open source Android 10 with Huawei's own interface on top, and this is EMUI 10.1. Now, I've been a big fan of EMUI, and particularly this version, because there are a couple of tweaks and functionalities that make using it day to day quite useful. If you're a hardcore Android user, one of the things that you'll notice is right out of the box, the P40 Pro does not come with Google mobile services available. But over the last couple of months, Huawei have been refining and pushing their app gallery. And I found that a lot of the common apps that I would use on my Android device are actually downloadable via the app gallery. Things like Snapchat, Etisalat, a whole range of more local apps that I might use can all be downloaded through the app gallery available pre-installed on the P40 Pro. Next, let's focus on the other standout feature of the P40 Pro, and that is the camera. This year is no different. The P series has always had an emphasis on photography, on camera capabilities, and there are a couple of things that Huawei are doing different this year with the P40 Pro. It really sets them aside from other manufacturers. So a lot of other smartphone manufacturers have really been pushing the pixel count number, whereas this year Huawei are focusing on the pixel quality. So what we're getting with the P40 Pro is a much larger sensor. In fact, one of the largest sensors ever placed in a modern phone. And what we're also getting is a slightly unorthodox, something that we have seen in the past, an RYYB pixel arrangement. And what Huawei are claiming is that this will help with low light sensitivity, but also that size of the sensor will mean that it's able to soak up more information and photons to give a much better all-round camera experience. And the P40 Pro on the back has that quad camera setup. It's made up of a 50 megapixel RYYB main camera, and then that's paired up with a 12 megapixel telephoto lens. The third camera is a 40 megapixel ultra wide, and then the fourth camera is a 3D time of flight. Now those cameras work together and perform an incredibly good job with not only zoom but also normal photography, pictures taken in normal lighting. In the past, I've been quite critical of Huawei's AI kicking in, slightly over exaggerating colors and images, but I'm happy to say actually with the P40 Pro, it's getting much better. And in fact, if you look at some of these image examples, you'll see just how close the images look to normal viewing with the naked eye. As well as this, the zoom capability now means that you're getting a much better quality image with the zoom as opposed to, 100x X zoom with really poor quality. This is an example of a Samsung smartphone next to the P40 Pro, and you'll notice both of them are at 10x zoom, and you'll notice the quality difference between the two is quite striking. There's much more clarity and the image quality is much better on the P40 Pro than it is on the Samsung device. Now what I hope to do is actually have a more detailed comparison later on, so if you'd like to see that video, be sure to smash that subscribe button and hit like down below. The P40 Pro also has a 5x optical and 10x lossless hybrid magnification, and it performs incredibly well. So this is a quick look at video in normal lighting in quarantine. Unfortunately, I'm not able to go out and about, but the P40 Pro records 4K at 60 frames per second, and also the AI aided image stabilization actually works wonders. Even if you're walking fast or running around, you'll notice this performance is actually really good. The other thing is the autofocus is very good now on the P40 Pro, something that I was able to notice almost immediately. The colors, the saturation, the vibrancy looks much closer to natural than I've noticed in the past. And again, this is credit to the improvements on the camera capabilities. One other thing to mention is that it also now comes with audio zoom. So once you start zooming in, you'll notice that the audio quality starts adjusting with that zoom as well. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think of the video and what you think of the audio quality. Right guys, here's a little tip for those of you that like to edit your images. So on the P40 Pro, there's a really cool feature called AI Golden Snap, and it has a range of edit functions that use AI to get you best finished shots. So one of those is the fact that you're able to do things like remove a reflection, or you're able to remove a passerby from a shot that you might be taking of a monument, a landscape. This was really hard to demo because I'm obviously in quarantine, so I can't really show that off, but that's going to be a feature that will really enhance your images with the P40 Pro. On the front is that 32 megapixel front facing camera, which has autofocus, and it also has the infrared depth sensor incorporated so that you're getting a much more natural background blur effect. I just want to take a moment to talk about another very important aspect of a modern smartphone, and that is the battery performance. So I've had this for a week, I've been using this, and what I found with the battery is that it's performed incredibly well. Not only do you get that 40-watt wired supercharged Huawei battery right out of the box, that was giving me about 50% charge in about 25 minutes, just under an hour from 0 to 100, which is pretty good. But this also comes with a whopping, check this, 40-watt wireless charge, which is absolutely insane. Unfortunately, I don't have a 40-watt wireless charger at home to put this to the test, but any of you that are looking for that, well, you'll be happy to know that the P40 Pro can do that. Now, I think in part the good battery life performance is down to that Kirin 990 5G chipset, that all-in-one chipset that means that it's much better not only for performance but also for day-to-day battery performance as well. So in summary, what are my final thoughts of the Huawei P40 Pro? Well, I've been handling this for about a week now, and there are two main features that really stand out. One was in the intro that I mentioned about the camera capabilities. I think Huawei have done incredibly well, and if you're the type of person that wants really good camera, particularly telephoto and low light capability, then the P40 Pro is not going to disappoint. This is also going to be available in this part of the world from starting pre-orders from the 2nd of April, and that's going to set you back 3,499 dirhams. But Huawei are throwing a ton of goodies. Some of those include things like a free Watch GT2, there's a VIP service, there's 6 months one-time free replacement, screen protection warranty, also cloud service package, plus a flip cover. So if you want to get hold of your P40 Pro with those special freebies included, then check out the link down below. Plus, let me know in the comment section what you think about the Huawei P40 Pro. Have you been impressed with what you've seen so far? Are you planning on getting this? I'd love to know your thoughts. That's it from me for now. If you're new around here, smash that subscribe button, hit like, and I'll see you in the next video here on EMKWAN Reviews. Until then, I'm EMKWAN. Peace and blessings.